everybody, and welcome back to Never Seen It. My name is Trent. I am sitting here with Betsy.
Hello, everybody.
It is Sunday yet again, and we're back for another episode of this here show. It is the Sunday after the Oscars, and you know what that means, Betsy.
We have to do the logical thing and do a trashy movie series.
We have to crawl into the gutter after being with all the glitz and glamour of the Oscars. Betsy, I want this to become a regular thing that we do.
Yeah, it has to be a hard shift. Not to say that these are all trashy movies that we have selected, but the first one is definitely a choice.
Indeed. Betsy, for the next 3 Sundays, we're going to do Stripper Sunday.
Only the classiest movies. That's what I'm saying.
And to start off, we are going to cover the 1996 cinematic masterpiece that is Striptease.
Sure, that's a generous word we'll use for this movie.
Absolutely. This is a movie that neither of us have seen yet. I don't know why that we haven't sat down to watch this, but Betsy, what do you know about this movie?
I know surprisingly little for this movie considering it has existed for nearly 30 years.
And it was kind of a big deal in 1996.
Yes and no.
As big of a deal as a movie about strippers can be.
Right. So I know this is Demi Moore, kind of at the height of her 90s fame.
Yep.
And she, I want to say, is an undercover cop. I believe this movie is not what you think it is.
I feel like this is some kind of relating to crime in some capacity. She's maybe undercover as a stripper.
That's what I mean.
She's doing, I don't know if she's actually a cop, but I know there's some kind of crime element.
Or she's helping the cops.
Yeah, I think there's also, like, she's got kids that are relating to this. I really don't know.
Like I said, I know almost nothing about this. And the other day, you looked up the Rotten Tomatoes score for this movie, and I was shocked. I'm not gonna lie. This movie is sitting at 13%.
Hot 13.
That is way lower than I thought it was going to be because I just have it in my head that this movie was some like kind of smash hit in 1996.
It probably was. It probably made a whole bunch of money, much like Showgirls was a kind of a big hit, even though it's a crap movie. There's a bunch of ass and titties in it, of course.
But as far as anybody else who's in this movie, what the actual plot is, I know basically nothing about this film.
And I feel like this movie is a part of that pantheon, if you really want to give it that kind of a word.
Oh, that kind of erotic ride we were going on in the mid-90s.
Right, and Demi Moore was a part of Indecent Proposal with Woody Harrelson and Robert Redford. And that movie was kind of a higher brow version of this, I think. Where again, it's naughty. There's some nudity in here, and you're allowed to be an adult and going to an adult movie. But I think this movie is more campy.
I feel like this one is not campy, and that's probably why it doesn't work. Where Showgirls was really over the top and silly, I think this one takes itself very seriously, and that's probably why it's such a low rating.
Maybe. I mean, I guess we're gonna find out. Do you have anything else that you wanted to talk about?
No idea what this movie is.
All right.
I don't know why we're doing it, but I'm sure we're gonna have. I'm sure we're gonna have an interesting conversation when we come back.
All right, we're gonna go and watch Striptease, and we'll be right back. And we are back. Betsy, so did we choose the best movie to start this series off with?
In the intro, Trent, you described this movie as you thought it was campy.
Yeah.
But it's worse than that. This is a comedy.
It's a comedy.
How did I go?
It's a crime comedy.
How did I go all the way since 1996 and I didn't know this movie actually is listed as a comedy? How did I not know this information?
I didn't know either.
Burt Reynolds shows up and he is completely absurd.
Oh, he's maybe the best thing in this movie.
Robert Patrick is in this and he's completely absurd.
He is a walking, talking Florida cliche. He is Florida man.
Ving Rhames is here having the time of his life.
It's maybe second best thing in this movie.
This movie is terrible, but also it's the greatest movie I've ever seen.
We had a really good time watching it. Holy shit.
The worst part about this movie being a comedy is that it's trying really hard to be funny, and it actually on occasion succeeded. I don't know what to think. I am really confused because this is not at all what I thought this movie was.
Betsy, this is a crime caper comedy kind of a thing interspersed with a whole lot of stripping scenes.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Because the comedy is very quintessential 1990s goofy ass, like almost slapstick.
Yes.
Okay. But then they do these strip scenes and it's like a fucking Oscar movie. The way they're directed and like choreographed, they're so dramatic.
They spent money, Betsy, on this goddamn licensed soundtrack. Oh my God. Did they have a lot of really big bangers in here?
So it's very confusing because there's so much effort put into the stripping part and it doesn't need to be in the movie at all. Like
there was one at the very end where the blonde woman with the bob hair is up there stripping and there's no reason that needs to be there.
No, you could fully cut all of the actual stripping out of this movie and this movie might actually have worked.
You could have absolutely cut all of the scenes where people are actually stripping, except for the first one where the congressman goes up there and beats the guy's ass.
Yeah, when we are introduced to the plot of the movie.
Right. Every one of the other ones could completely be cut, and it maybe would have been a better movie because of it, because this movie is almost 2 hours long.
It's so very strange, this movie.
I still had a really good time watching it, though.
I had an incredible time watching this horse shed.
Yeah.
But I'm just mostly amazed that I clearly knew some version of it. So I said she was like an undercover cop. There is a cop. She is working with a cop, but she's only involved because she's trying to get custody of her daughter.
Yeah, and I said there was something to do with kids and there's crime involved, so we kind of had some of it.
We knew little bits, like the actual essence, the vibe of the plot. But what we didn't know was it was this convoluted mess of a thing where Burt Reynolds is this skeezy congressman who just likes going to titty bars and getting himself into trouble. Someone photographs him beating a guy over the head with a champagne bottle, and they try to blackmail him, and then they start murdering all the people who are trying to blackmail him.
Right. Again, as we were watching the end of this movie, I said, this movie might be the most Florida movie I have ever seen, besides maybe Wild Things, which is kind of a similar thing.
Yeah.
That movie isn't a comedy per se, but there's all sorts of different like intrigue and
questionable people,
backstabbing and triple crossing people, and
everyone's kind of a sleazebag.
It's a shit movie, but I love it.
This is a shit movie.
This is a shit movie, and I also love it in a different way.
I don't think I loved this movie.
Oh, Betsy.
I enjoyed the experience of watching it, mostly because I was so not expecting this.
I think that's really the thing. It's the surprise.
I'm so surprised.
It's the surprise that Burt Reynolds is in the movie at all, number one. And number two, he's just a skis bag, and I love it.
Okay, I will say this. Burt Reynolds understood the assignment.
Oh, yes.
He is fucking hysterical in this movie. He is a dirty old man playing a dirty old man. And he's like, every time he's just like, he sees this woman at a strip bar called the Eager Beaver.
The Eager Beaver.
We would be remiss to not mention that's where she works. He sees this woman dance and he says, she's an angel.
She's my angel.
She's my angel. And he wants to like make her, I want you to be my mistress. I want you to marry me. I love you so much. And he's just obsessed with her in the most creepy old man way. But because it's a 90s comedy and Burt Reynolds, believe it or not, was actually a really, really good actor.
Yes.
He knew exactly how far to push this without taking it like to the 11th degree.
Let's just stick on him for a little while here because there's so much to cover about him. Talking about being, okay, yes, he's a skis bag, but he's not like, you know, really, really bad. He's not going to cross a line.
I mean, he definitely does.
There are some lines here that get crossed, you know, personal space lines and personal, like he sends his aide to follow her to the laundromat and he wants something extremely personal.
And it doesn't even make sense. It's her laundry lint, like from the dryer.
You would think that what he actually wants is underwear or negligee or whatever the fuck. No, it is the lint from the dryer of her clothing, which is all of it.
That is the most unusual thing he could have possibly chosen.
And the next thing we see is him in his leather daddy vest and boots
and a cowboy hat
and his white boxers covered head to toe in Vaseline.
He can feel it squish in his shoes.
and you can hear it squish in his shoes.
Yeah. Oh. When he tells her, I had my aide go and get the lint. She says, what did you do with it? Well, I fucked it.
No, I don't think he said fuck.
I made love
to it. I made love to that fresh, hot lint.
It's so...
Right before he goes to speak to the Young Christian Association.
It's so uncomfortable, everything out of his mouth.
Again, I love how Florida this movie is, down to the fact that on a previous scene, you see him at this like Jewish old folks retirement home.
He's working on his constituents.
Right, it's Southern Florida. Of course he's going to be in front of a bunch of Jews.
Well, he also said it's like 6 weeks before the election.
Yeah.
So he's out hobnobbing and he just has to stay out of trouble until after the election.
But he can't control himself, Betsy.
He has uncontrollable urges and this is his angel and he needs to pursue this.
Fuck.
Good God. But here's the other thing is he's an absolute moron. He is completely a moron, and they're playing up the fact that he's a dumbass.
He has zero self-preservation instincts as a politician. He doesn't listen to any of what his aides say. He goes along with whatever plan that all these other goons have. Like, he essentially agrees to the plan to kill these other people.
Right, but I'm unclear of how much he actually knew about that. Like, I feel like the other guys are just killing people and he goes, okay.
Right. Like that's just part of the job.
But that's the thing. There's fucking murders in this movie and the way they are depicted and introduced, they're like really serious. It's not like a funny comedic murder. It is like murder.
Right. Poor old Jerry is floating up on this guy's lake in front of his cabin. And later on, I don't even know like how the lawyer gets offed. All they say is
he just shows up dead.
He shows up, what they say, like 400 yards off the coast of somewhere, and a bunch of crabs ate his face.
It's so vague. It doesn't make any sense.
Why did the lawyer get involved? Oh, God.
Why did they kill them at all? He had a photo. Jerry saw him at the strip club. He can identify him. They don't pay him off. They don't do anything to just make this quietly go away. You think congressmen aren't on occasion at strip clubs? I'm sure this is a real thing that happens.
Of course, and that's why you have people like that on your payroll to help, control the congressman for one thing, and number two, to help pay off people that maybe see some things and put people maybe under NDA.
Right. But Jerry is just a lonely middle-aged guy who likes to go to the strip club because it's all he has.
He's a sweet guy who likes titties and
he didn't deserve to die. No. Certainly not for that. And he's not even like asking for money. He just wants him to help to work on the judge on her behalf because she has lost in this custody battle.
Right. But of course, the judge also shows up dead at a porno theater.
Yeah.
He had a heart attack at a porno theater in the middle of the day or like the morning or something.
He's a judgmental asshole who is not going to agree with her life choice to be a stripper. So she's trying to keep that quiet.
Yeah. And Robert Patrick was, like star linebacker for Florida high school number 5.
It was enough that the judge took his side, even though he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
The intro to this movie, just setting up that premise, is so fucking wild. We start in the courtroom where the judge has just ruled we're going to give custody to that asshole. And it's Robert Patrick, again, did not know he is in this movie, who is an informant for like the narc guys.
He's an informant for the local PD Vice Squad.
The Vice Squad, thank you.
Yes.
And because he's got that, she was working for the FBI. That's the thing I was thinking of. She was a secretary for the FBI, and she lost her job because of him. And her only logical next choice is to become a stripper.
Right.
This is the sequence of events that led her to becoming a stripper, and she's only been there for 8 weeks.
Yeah, okay. I would give her the benefit of the doubt here. It's very possible if she grew up in this entire community that before she was a secretary, she did do some stripping, and maybe she just fell back into this because, hey, I lose my job. I can't get a job that quickly anywhere else. I need money now.
I could understand that if they bothered to explain any of it, but the way they set this up, it's like she has never stripped a day in her life, and then she decides this is the quickest way for me to make money.
I guess so, but you could have taken, 20, 25 minutes of the other stripping away from this movie and maybe explain that a little more.
Yeah, we spent so much time on like the big titted women and the women dressed as little girls and the woman with the snake.
And the cat lady.
And the cat lady. We needed to focus on those things instead of actual plot. Which I don't need a whole lot of plot. But again, this is a comedy. A comedy. Like, haha, funny. Let's have a good time.
But then you also have this serious story of the down and out woman and her daughter, the single mother and her daughter with a skeezy ex-husband who's a criminal who takes away custody because of circumstances.
Yeah.
All of this serious story is surrounding this horseshit movie.
Yeah. I just can't put those two things together. Like, you could edit this movie in a few different ways. And if it was like all drama, it maybe could work. And then the weird, like, intense stripping she does would fit into the story.
Would it have been better if it wasn't a place called the Eager Beaver? If she was at a classy joint, stay with me here. If she was at a classy joint in a better part of town and she was able to do her exotic dances.
Trent, this is Florida. How exotic are these strip clubs gonna get?
These Southern Florida.
What is the nicest strip club in Southern Florida that she could work in?
I don't know.
What do you define as a nicer
What was
establishment?
the other place called? The Flesh something?
The Flesh Market, the Flesh Farm.
That's
what it was.
Thank you.
And they had a cow wearing sunglasses as their logo. So I don't know. And that's the classy joint.
I think the Eager Beaver is the classier joint.
It's the better name. It's fucking
true.
Terrible, but...
Not that I would know. I have only ever been inside of a strip club once in my life. It was because one of my friends was having a birthday. It was a woman, by the way.
A female friend.
A female friend was having a birthday. She was bar hopping and wanted all of her friends to come along with her. I went to the strip club amongst all of the other bars. They had a $5 cover charge. We were there for about 20, 25 minutes. Everybody got a drink and we left. That was it. I didn't see anybody in there.
That must have been a really classy place you were at if it was $5 cover.
It was our local strip joint, Betsy.
Is it the one that used to have amateur night?
I don't know. Most strip joints tend to have amateur nights.
I just remember hearing ads for those. Like, they had commercials on the radio. Come on down for amateur night.
Right, which is to say, hey, bring your friends down here if you want to see them take their top off.
Pretty much. How many of those girls do you think went pro after that?
Oh, God. I have no idea.
But yeah, all this to say this movie is just like, do you want to be funny? Because sometimes it was weirdly funny. Sometimes it was funny because I was so uncomfortable with what I was watching.
Yeah, and sometimes I don't know if you were trying to be serious or not. Like the Ving Rhames character we haven't talked about yet.
Ving Rhames.
He was all over the place.
Ving Rhames is fucking hysterical in this movie.
He is.
And I think he knew what kind of movie he was doing because, like, he is the bouncer who is running around just trying to do what he can boyfriend for these girls.
Yeah.
And
he's a bouncer with a heart of gold.
And a monkey.
And a monkey. And a scheme to this is like mid 90s where people are talking about like the woman who sued McDonald's and got like millions of dollars because her coffee was hot.
Yeah, and everybody forgets the context of the story. All they hear is, I could also make a quick buck with a similar lawsuit.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's trying to do here by getting with this skeezy lawyer whose office is above a video rental store.
Of course, the plan he has is he puts a cockroach in a jar of yogurt.
Right.
And then the temp at the lawyer's office eats it. And this had no...
And his plan was, okay, I'm going to open this thing up. There's a cockroach inside. I am so shocked that all my hair falls out. But he's a bald man.
But this doesn't have any weight on the whole rest of the movie.
No, it doesn't.
It's there to be funny, but at this point, I hadn't really realized that this entire movie is supposed to be a comedy. Up to that point of the movie, we were still kind of dancing around dramatic territory.
Kinda, yeah.
And then there's a woman eating a bug. You hear the crunch, and it's supposed to be a hysterical question mark.
But she likes it.
And then he shows up threatening his lawyer with a drill because this didn't work, which, again, doesn't make any fucking sense. You're telling me you couldn't just get another yogurt and put another bug in it? Like, it's
clearly
your plans are ruined.
The entire scheme is kaput.
So instead he gets involved with this other like congressional blackmail scheme.
Yes, but of course we have to talk about when he comes into that building. He goes into the video rental store because you got to go through that to get upstairs.
Yeah, he's got to go through it to the back to go up.
But first he asks the clerk at the desk, is Free Willy back? Because video rental stores, you have to bring it back after so many days.
Yeah, he wants to rent Free Willy.
He asks if Free Willy is back and he smacks the table when she says no. He says, yes, some people are just animals. And he's holding this drill for no reason.
He's going to go threaten this guy, maybe?
I don't know. It's like he's walking in there with a pistol, but it's just a drill.
Yeah. And then he actually threatens his lawyer with the drill.
Right.
So, yeah. Oh boy.
The lawyer's office with the wood paneling that apparently he's like proud of because he threatens to drill a hole in his wall and he says, no, don't do that.
Yeah, none of it makes sense. Just to demonstrate his lawyer's skeezy and he's looking for a quick buck. But they don't resolve any of that storyline.
No, Betsy, I've got a question before we move on here. We have watched a good number of Coen Brothers movies. Do you think that maybe whoever made this movie was trying for a Coen Brothers type of an attitude? Maybe not specifically, but I got some vibes here.
I think there is a world in which the Coens could make this movie.
Yeah,
and they would somehow make it work.
It's a poor attempt at a Coen Brothers type movie.
I get that. I understand that because the Coens sometimes do things where it's sort of serious, but sort of funny.
It's just ridiculous. But all of the characters are ridiculous.
But they are able to dance that line so cautiously that it never goes too far one way or another. And so you buy it. Like when it comes to those two guys, they have figured out the formula of what's silly enough without being too silly. This movie is too silly for the rest of it. Like when you are looking at there's murders and blackmail and all this other stuff, and Demi Moore is playing this like a drama most of the time.
She's playing it straight all the way.
She is playing it completely straight. Everyone else around her is in a comedy, and those two things up against each other makes no fucking sense. Like, I'm not even gonna say she's bad in the movie. Like, she is committed to being a stripper. Like, Demi Moore is one of those women, especially in the 90s. She is like a fitness nut. And this woman is jacked to shit in this movie.
The next year, she put out G.I. Jane.
Yeah, she was like doing prep work for that movie while she's making this movie. And yeah, when she's doing all the stripping scenes, like
that's all her.
She got it. Shit's tight.
Yeah.
She is in incredible shape. She is committed to the dancing. You can tell she is doing the majority of her dancing. But because she's also this like sad mother in a divorce custody thing, But then there's like blackmail and death, and she's trying to like call a press conference by herself to get, like, it doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense.
Yeah, it's just she's pulling things out of her ass to try to make this entire scheme to come together. But at the same time, she's also like, she's committing crimes here. Like, she's pulling guns on people. She kidnaps her own daughter.
Yeah, she does not have custody.
Yeah, what she is doing here is not legal. Yes, Robert Patrick, his character here, is an absolute scumbag, but she can't go against court orders. I get that. But fuck.
Yeah, there's like a scene where he keeps moving around and not telling her where he has moved. So she is unable to contact her daughter.
Right.
And she is just like really stressed out. She goes to their old house where she knew they were living and sees that it's empty and it's a total shithole. And she's like sitting in the rain crying.
Right.
And I'm like, what the fuck is this?
What is this movie? Are you really thinking that this is a serious drama on Demi Moore, or do you get the joke?
Because by the end, it feels like she does get the joke. When she goes and she has a private dance with the congressman, he invites her back a second night. And the first night she's there, she does the dance, she's trying to get information.
And she's got Ving Rhames there as protection.
Yeah, but she feels like she's being threatened, she's backed into a corner, and she's got to do something to resolve the situation. So she pulls herself up by her stripper bootstraps, and she arranges this like whole thing with, I'm like, I don't even know what she's doing. They just show her up all night fishing through a phone book and writing down numbers.
Right.
And they don't explain what the hell she's doing.
Betsy, I don't know if you know this or not. I don't think the phone number for CNN is in the yellow pages.
Shut up. Yes, it is. In the 90s, it might have been. It may have been. But she's arranging this whole thing to go back the next night, and then she gets a gun. I didn't even see where she got the gun.
I have no idea where she got the gun.
All of a sudden, she has the gun, and I know we've brought this up in other podcasts where somebody responded with, "This is America. Anyone can get a gun."
Yes.
Yes.
It's Florida.
That is true. I'm not going to deny that. However, when you are writing a movie, you should probably have some justification for how she got this gun.
Yes.
But she makes this whole arrangement and she kidnaps the congressman
at gunpoint
and takes him to a factory. And when he like escapes her guard that she had with her, she's like, "Yeah, baby, I was waiting for you to take me." And then all of a sudden she starts doing like a phony Southern accent to like play with him.
Yeah.
So this like one little scene of the movie where she is toying with Burt Reynolds feels like she was in on the joke. But the rest of the movie, no.
Yeah, and like casually just dismissing the fact that this driver was bludgeoned with something and is unconscious on the ground bleeding. She has no concern about that, her new friend.
And all of this is happening while Robert Patrick shows up, and he has already at this point of the movie threatened her with a knife. He waited for her in a car and said, "Where is my daughter?" And Ving Rhames kicked his ass and broke his arm. But him being him, he didn't go to the hospital to get it fixed. His sister fixed it with a fucking broken driver, a golf driver, and then some like rope. I don't fucking know.
I don't know, some gauze.
And gave him a whole lot of pills. And he is doped up, dancing around, about to pass out. He keeps saying to Burt Reynolds, "Are you that guy from The Price is Right?"
Are you Bob Barker?
He never says Bob Barker.
I know.
He says the guy from The Price is Right. And he beats a dude over the head and he's like, "I think I killed him. What's going on?" It's so goofy.
That's where I'm getting the Coen vibe here, because this guy is a caricature of a Florida man.
He is absolutely the definition of Florida man. Florida man breaks arm, thinks he murders a man with his driver strapped to his hand. And they go together. And he basically saves the day because he wakes up and he's like, "Oh, I could use some coffee." And he pushes a button at the sugar factory thinking it is a coffee dispenser. And he says, "Coffee, no sugar."
No sugar.
And when he pushes the button, all of the sugar comes down because did I mention we're in a sugar factory? And he says, "I said no sugar."
No sugar. Oh, my God.
Is that whole thing? Now, I will give you I kind of was loving Robert Patrick in this because I have never seen him do comedy before.
No.
I've only ever seen him as, the fucking T2, what do they call him? The T-1000?
Yes, he's the T-1000. He's also in The X-Files.
He's also in The X-Files. He was in Copland when we watched that.
That's right.
But he is always this tough New Yorker type. He is always a bad guy. He's always very serious. And watching him as a Florida man stealing wheelchairs from a hospital in broad daylight,
using his daughter as his accomplice,
popping too many pills and screaming at his sister and stealing cars, it was a fucking riot. I loved him in this. But it doesn't mean it makes sense for the rest of the movie.
Shit. Okay. Who else haven't we talked about here? We said Ving Rhames and Demi Moore and Robert Patrick, Burt Reynolds.
Well, someone we haven't talked about is the fact that her daughter is played by
her actual daughter. Rumor
Willis is playing her daughter in Striptease. And she doesn't, have much to do. She's a little kid.
No.
She just keeps asking where mommy is. And then she sees her strip and she's like, "You're beautiful. I saw you. You were beautiful.
Do you like dancing?"
Yeah. And you and I recognize her. I don't know how many other people knew or know now who Rumor Willis is.
Yeah, she's one of the lesser known Nepo babies.
She's got that face where it's like, you got most of dad's face, huh?
Oh, no, I got total vibes for her.
Okay, she got her dad's chin then. I don't know.
Fine. At least when she's this age.
So speaking of her dad, her obviously, very famously, at this time, Demi Moore was still married to Bruce Willis. When this movie came out, this is the thing I remember. He did an interview, I want to say with David Letterman.
Okay.
Where he threw to a clip from his new movie, and it was Bruce Willis dressed as a stripper.
What?
This clip exists. I remember seeing him as a stripper doing a little dance. It's like a very, very short clip, but that was the joke was, oh yeah, I brought a clip from my new movie. And it was making fun of the fact that his wife was playing a stripper in Striptease.
Okay.
Yeah, that, more than anything, is what I remember about this movie being relevant in the 90s.
Okay, all right. The only thing I remember about these two being married is the fact that they are both in Beavis and Butthead Do America.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
Listen, they're pretty amicable, all things considered.
Oh, sure.
Even when she was married to Ashton Kutcher, all of them, him included, with the kids, would all be on the red carpet together.
Sure. Yeah.
They're one of the most amicable divorces in Hollywood.
Hollywood divorces, anyway.
Yeah.
Speaking of breakups, we have to take a break here for a word from our sponsor. We'll be right back.
Feeling run down, lethargic, a little bloated?
Yes. Oh, God, yes.
Well, have I got the prescription for you?
Oh, no, not another pill. I take enough of those that I find in the dumpster behind the Burger King.
Oh, no, it's better than any dumpster pills. It's patreon.com/neverseenitpod.
I'm interested. Tell me more.
It's premium content from those jokers at Never Seen It. They have 4 other weekly shows, plus bonuses.
I've heard of those guys. They're super talented and funny.
And sexy. Don't forget sexy.
Oh, then I'll definitely check them out. Thanks, disembodied voice.
Anytime.
And we're back. So, Betsy, I know one thing really got you going right off the bat at the beginning of this movie. Looking at the credits and specifically the person who did the score, returning champion Howard Shore.
The more of these episodes we do, the more astonished I am at the career this man has had. We have watched some very, what I would consider unusual choices for Howard Shore. But you know what? You gotta do what you gotta do to pay the bills. Like Demi Moore in this movie.
Right.
Howard Shore is gonna score the stripper film.
Howard Shore will cash your check.
Yeah, of course. And it's very 90s, quirky, strange.
And he goes hard a couple of times. When Robert Patrick is drunk and high and driving.
Like a lunatic.
Like a lunatic in the middle of traffic. The score there is just really going hard.
Harder than it needs to.
Right.
Because we know what Howard Shore is capable of. But yeah, it's just so strange every time his name pops up when we're watching these 90s movies. Because number one, I forget how far back he goes. Like, I think the earliest thing we've seen him as the composer was in the 80s, like early mid 80s.
Yeah, like I can't like pull one out of my hat that was that far back. I remember he did the music for Hackers.
Yeah, and some other very unusual things. When we think of Howard Shore, our brain immediately goes Lord of the Rings.
Sure.
But not everybody starts with Lord of the Rings and winning Oscars and crap.
No, of course not.
Do you think there's people who really love composers, who really love movie scores, who sit around listening to the score for Striptease simply because it's Howard Shore?
I don't know if I would go that far. But Betsy, there was a score that we talked about for one of our Patreon shows, patreon.com/neverseenitpod, where we covered the Ides of March. And we actually played some of that music in that episode because it is so iconic to us. I'll be honest, I put some of that music on my phone just because I had it. Yeah, I don't think that it is anything that people really sit down and listen to except for other composers.
Yeah, I'm not saying by any means Striptease is an iconic score. Oh, hell no.
No, but
no,
it's certainly an iconic soundtrack, though. All of the different licensed music in this movie is fantastic.
It is weird to realize how much money was behind this movie. This was not a low-budget movie. Like,
big studios?
This was a big studio. Burt Reynolds is a big star. Demi Moore is a big star. Robert Patrick is a couple years removed from the second Terminator movie, which means he's still pretty relevant, and he was definitely still on the rise. Ving Rhames had already done Mission Impossible at this point, or it came out the same year.
And Pulp Fiction a couple of years before. Yep.
So it's not like he was a nobody.
That's why I'm saying that this movie, I believe, was gigantic. Yeah, it's bad, but a lot of people went to it.
Yeah, the soundtrack has Prince when he was the artist formerly known as Prince.
Talk about dating this movie.
Yeah. How do you feel?
For that very short time.
How do you feel about the artist formerly known as Prince? Right. Oh my God, remember 30 years ago when we were doing that for a couple of years?
Like they're making George Bush jokes.
Oh, Lord. What was the
Barbara Bush jokes?
One of the strippers was called Ariel Sharon.
Oh, yeah. There's a couple more that we got to talk about later. But yeah, Ariel, as in the Little Mermaid Ariel. But she's Jewish, so it's Ariel Sharon, the prime minister of Israel at the time.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It was a very, very 90s reference. My favorite moment was when they specifically are asking who they are when they're approaching the boat. And Demi says, I'm Barbara Bush.
Yeah, he says he's George Bush.
And he says he's George Bush. And then later in the movie, they go, it's George Bush. But going back to the soundtrack.
That doesn't look like George Bush to me.
But going back to the soundtrack, before I get too far off that topic, this has like multiple songs by Annie Lennox and the Eurythmics.
Yeah.
And there are a whole bunch of other songs that I definitely recognized from like the 1960s and the 70s. So they were spending money on this movie for the strip numbers. And I'm just like, why? Why? It didn't add anything to the story other than...
Do you think that they wanted to recreate... We've covered this movie. Do you think that they really wanted to do like another Flashdance kind of a thing?
I have to imagine there is just this subculture of Hollywood where they're trying to cash in on the success of movies like that.
Yeah.
It is the same thing we go back to once in a while, something that will titillate the viewers. But there's nothing sexy about these dances.
Not really. And number one, there's no sex in this movie whatsoever.
No, there's no love interest. There's none of that. And I'm totally fine. That would have just complicated it even more than it is.
And maybe like they're even trying to push away the notion that, okay, Demi Moore and this cop guy are going to get together, where he's showing her pictures of his family and like, I have a good family life and I have kids and a wife and whatever else. I'm not trying to hook up with you. I'm really trying to help you.
We're just trying to demonstrate that she's a good kid. That dancer.
She's a good kid there. What is this accent?
I have no idea what his thing was because half the time I could barely understand that guy.
Yeah, he was a little much.
And the way he's introduced, he is just a guy sitting on the porch on vacation. And then his kid comes running up saying, Dad, we got a floater.
Betsy, I have a question here relating to this. So this guy is on vacation. He's a detective for some jurisdiction somewhere.
Miami, but he's not in Miami because the rest of the movie I think is in Miami.
Yeah, they find him in Lake Okeechobee He tells the kid, okay, call the local police because he's not at home.
It's a local matter. Well, call the cops. You are a cop. Call the local cops.
Right. Call the Miami PD or whatever the fuck it was. Why in the hell would the local place where Jerry is from, his local precinct, why would that precinct assign this guy the case if he's the one who found the body?
Why would the case end up there in the first place?
Because that's where he's from.
Right, but his body is found in a completely different part of Florida. So if that is where he is found, wouldn't that be where the investigation is?
It is where it's found, but they also did an autopsy and they said he didn't actually drown from the waters there. He was drowned elsewhere with fresh water, not salt water.
So instead, they have to move it back to
where he's
the case to where he's from.
Because they figure, okay, he was killed in this jurisdiction.
It's a homicide.
He was dumped here.
He keeps saying it's a homicide.
Homicide.
Yeah. I mean, that's Armand Desante, I assume. I've heard the name.
I mean, his name sounds like what he should look like, if that makes sense.
And I've heard the name Armand Desante, but I have no idea who that is. It's another very 90s sort of thing. But also, we skipped to the part where he's fishing the body out and he makes a Casablanca reference. Of all the lakes, of all the waters in all of Florida, he washes up in mine. Son of a bitch or something. It's so stupid. And then, and I'm like, I don't know who this guy is. He's apparently a cop. And then he's just on the case helping this stripper with the heart of gold.
Yeah, he just shows up and says, yeah, I'm doing this case. Why? Why in the world would, oh God. there's no answers to these questions I have.
No logic can be found.
I can't even think of the question.
No, there's no logic to it. It's just a way to introduce this guy who everybody knew in the 90s. You were more interested in the Fabio poster on the wall.
I kept on saying, is that Fabio on the wall? That's got to be Fabio, is it not? Because it was never in focus. It absolutely was.
I can't believe it is Fabio.
I can't believe it's not butter.
Spray.
Did he make a spray commercial?
They made I can't believe it's not butter spray. And he was still in those commercials.
Oh God!
I can't believe it's not butter spray.
No, we
have lost like 2/3 of the people listening to this because they were not around for Fabio in the 90s.
Right? No, they certainly weren't around for the Grey Poupon commercials,
going all the way back to the 80s.
Oh yeah,
but there's none of that in this movie. No, just Fabio.
There was plenty of product placement though.
What? I didn't really see any.
I didn't write any of them down. I remember the guy gave him a Tic Tac. That was one.
Well, he said here have a mint. He didn't specifically call it a Tic Tac.
He didn't say Tic Tac, but Tic Tac was on there.
It was clearly a Tic Tac.
There was a couple of other ones here. I cannot remember, but I knew it was there.
Which wouldn't surprise me because, again, this clearly was a big Hollywood budgeted movie.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't hold back.
I mean, Jack Daniels is one of them.
Oh, God.
When they were just casually in the background, literally pouring water into the Jack Daniels thing to water down the booze.
Yeah, that's what you have to do in the bar.
Not really calling attention to it, but yeah, he was just with a pitcher of water, just pouring it in with a funnel.
Yeah, as you do. You don't want to get those guys too drunk at the strip club.
As you do in a skeezy stripper bar.
Oh, yeah. This whole fucking movie.
Well, I know there's more things that we have to mention here before we wrap it up. Betsy, did you have anything?
Well, there is a scene where these two goons are waiting outside the boat while she's giving her private dance. And they're talking to Ving Rhames about what's it like to work in a strip club. Like, what's it like to be a bouncer there?
Yeah, they're asking him about the auditions. Like, you participated in the auditions. And he's like, yeah, I'm the one who actually chooses them. And I'm in there doing the jiggle test. They don't actually say that, but that's essentially what he's saying. Like, you got to be tight.
Yeah, he's got like permanent wrist damage from this activity.
Right.
But they ask him, have you ever known somebody who was a stripper who made it big? And he thinks about it for a minute. Then he smiles and he says, Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep.
She was Chesty LaFrance. She was one of the greats.
Fuck. Okay. I mentioned that there was going to be some other stripper names here, and I only got a couple of them. One of them wasn't even mentioned on screen, I don't think. Ariel Sharon was one. Chesty LaFrance was the other. Plus, the gal who had the extremely large knockers there, Her name was Urbana Sprawl.
Oh, boy.
As in urban sprawl.
No, I got it, Trent. You don't need to explain that one to me.
Urbana Sprawl. And the other one I just looked up was Sabrina Hepburn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Classy bunch of girls.
Classy bunch of everybody. And, one of them, I don't remember her name, but she had the boa constrictor.
Okay, Trent, you've not seen the movie Gypsy.
No.
But the whole climax of this is it's the story of Gypsy Rose Lee, the most famous burlesque dancer of all time.
Okay.
She invented the striptease, basically. There is a song with all the other strippers before she takes on this life where they say, you gotta have a gimmick. Like, if you're a stripper, everybody has to have a gimmick.
Sure.
That's what I was thinking about in this moment.
Pretty much all of them do.
Because that woman's gimmick is a python. Named Monty.
Named Monty Python. Of course. Of course. It was the 90s. Well, and speaking of gimmicks, there's this competition between this strip joint and the one across the street, apparently. The other place has this other gal who, with the boa constrictor, doing her gimmick. He takes her off their hands and signs her to an exclusive contract because apparently strippers have contracts.
Duh.
But an idea that this owner and proprietor has is, all right, girls, we're going to get a pool in here and we're going to have cream corn wrestling.
Because they've got a wrestling rink of some kind, so we got to do that.
And of course, he says, yeah, I'm going to get a pool. And they're like, no, I don't want to do mud wrestling or whatever the fuck. No, cream corn.
Yeah.
And there's all sorts of different, pushback from the ladies saying, I'm not going to get fucking stuff up in my coochie. And Demi Moore says, I'm not going to be writhing around naked in corn. And he says, no, not naked. Topless. The health department wouldn't allow naked.
Oh, Lord. And then when they all say no, he says, how about pasta? Yeah. This is a movie we watched.
It was a movie we watched from 1996, Betsy. And it's one of my favorites that we've done so far. As far as having fun, because this is just fun.
Oh, it's an absolute blast.
Yeah.
As long as you know this movie is not good. Now, I knew going in it was not good based on that score. I just didn't know it was going to be funny on purpose. That's what I didn't know.
That should be the subtitle of this movie. Striptease, funny on purpose. Well, that's all I really had to talk about on this movie. Stripper Sunday, week 1 is in the books. If you would like to tell us what you thought of this movie, did you see this back in 1996? Do you remember what the fervor was around this movie? I do. I barely do, but I do remember some of it. Email us, neverseenitpod@gmail.com. And before we get into an email that we got from our dear superfan Stephanie, would like to just kind of put out there that, when we do our Oscar series, we kind of have to go full bore whenever the nominations come out. And we were doing a bunch of holiday movies in December, and we kind of forget some emails sometimes.
Sometimes.
Not that we forget about them. It's just, hey, they kind of get lost in the shuffle.
We just haven't read them yet.
We got this email back on New Year's Eve.
That was 10 whole minutes ago, right?
Yeah. That was the day that we put out our Never Seen It award show.
The year-end special where we hand out awards where no actual awards will be received.
Exactly. So, in light of the fact that we just celebrated our 4th Oscar special, let's read this email from Stephanie about our own award show from last year. Also about the Super Mario Brothers movie.
You can also still go back and listen to that episode.
Absolutely.
Because it's all about the movies we watched last year. It's not exclusively about movies from 2023.
Indeed. All right, from Stephanie. I love your award shows. I always love to be reminded of what you loved and hated, etc.
So do we.
We have to be reminded of ourselves sometimes. Like how I still can't get over that Betsy didn't love Goon. I loved it. And how Trent didn't love Saving Private Ryan. I like it, but yeah, Band of Brothers is still better.
That is the whole purpose of this show, is to find out, does it live up to the hype? Do we love it? Do we not understand it? We're allowed to have our opinions.
Yeah, remember when we watched Scream and I didn't get it?
We need to watch Scream again. I want to see if you get it now.
Maybe. Wait. Then again, no. Matthew Lillard is in that movie, and I no.
You love Matthew Lillard.
No, I don't.
He's your favorite 90s actor.
I don't. She says, I also love Drop Dead Gorgeous. I'm so glad that Trent loves it too. Yes, that was a fantastic movie. And again, very much dating this email. Yay, Patreon. Congrats. I'm so excited to hear all of your new podcasts.
That's patreon.com/neverseenapod. $5 a month gets you all that content.
Thank you, Betsy. We also watched the new Super Mario Brothers movie a few weeks ago, but I forgot that you guys did an episode on it until you brought it up in your awards special. So I listened to that episode too. This was a really fun movie. I don't know a ton about Mario, but I thought it was great. Also, all the preschoolers, including mine, have been talking about all of the characters and quoting this movie since it came out on Netflix. Yeah, I understand that once it came out on Netflix, that was like the #1 movie for a couple of months.
For everybody or just kids specifically?
Just everybody. It was the #1 movie on Netflix.
I believe that. Speaking of, you're wearing a Super Mario
it's true.
while you're recording this.
She says, I think the voice actors did a good job. The plot is fine. And the most important thing about kids' movies, it did not annoy me. Yeah, especially if it is the #1 movie. There's a lot of kids out there, a lot of parents out there who are running that movie on repeat.
That's how kids function. Yeah. I remember being a kid, I would just literally start the same movie over and over and over again. I don't know why we do it. We just do.
She says, I did not get any of these specific references that Trent talked about, LOL, but you don't need to in order to enjoy the movie. Yeah, that was just extra special for people like me. For me, the training sequence was necessary to show that he isn't just automatically great in this world. He needs practice and help. That's a good message. The sad star is real depressing, and kids definitely do not get it. I agree that we need more Luigi. He is my favorite, and I love Charlie Day. He should be a bigger character. Anyway, love you guys, and Happy New Year from Superfan Stephanie.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year to everybody from your friends that never seen it.
It's only almost St. Patrick's Day. It's fine.
It's fine. But thank you again, Stephanie, for that email and all of the other emails that you continue to send us, whether we read them or not on the show away.
We do read them.
Oh,
we just don't always put them on the show.
So yes, email us, neverseenitpod@gmail.com. We will absolutely read the email on the show. It might just be a little bit late, depending on what else we got going on. Also, the fact that we're only doing one episode a week, our emails kind of pile up, and sometimes we don't necessarily want to read an email about an Oscar movie during Striptease.
Sometimes we do.
Sometimes we do.
I do anyway.
Yeah. I pulled an audible and I wanted to read an old one. But anyway, email us, neverseenitpod@gmail.com. Find us on all of these social media platforms that are out there. I don't know if TikTok is going to be around by the time this episode comes out, so I don't know if we're ever going to be on that platform.
Yeah, no, I can't handle more social media, so
yeah,
sorry if it's a big old loss for all of you.
Betsy is barely hanging on as it is with all the platforms she has to post on. Speaking of posting, please go to your podcast app of choice, whether it be iTunes or Spotify, and rate us 5 stars. Leave us a review for all the folks out there to help discover this show.
You have made it this far in the episode, which clearly means you love us. So if you love us,
clearly,
you should write us a review. We'd really like that. We'd really appreciate it. And we'd appreciate you.
But if you really want us to appreciate you, go to our Patreon, patreon.com/neverseenitpod. 4 extra shows plus bonuses, $5 a month. It costs you basically nothing. Come on.
And we're having lots and lots of fun. Don't you like fun?
It's very, very fun doing that stuff over there.
Come have fun with us.
But of course, we are still having fun over on the main feed as well for Never Seen It. Next week, we are continuing Stripper Sunday. We're going to be covering the 1990,
1990
movie, The Full Monty. So we're going from naked women to naked men, I think, because I haven't seen the movie.
I have.
She has. So you're going to have to come back next week and check out Never Seen It when we cover The Full Monty. But until then, this has been another episode of Never Seen It. My name is Trent.
My name is Betsy.
And we'll catch you next week.
Bye, everyone.